How's it going? It's about 6 p.m. on a beautiful Sunday evening. This is Soi 42 in the Ekkamai area of Bangkok. If you go just one block that way, you'll be at the Ekkamai bus station. And on the other side of the BTS is where I normally go. That is Sukhumvit Soi 63 Ekkamai. I have a good restaurant, Ekkamai Beer House, good burgers, good food, and good music on Wednesday. They used to have a band Monday and Wednesday. Now it's just Wednesday. I can't remember the last time I wandered up Soi 42. So let's take a peek. Again, this is Ekkamai BTS, and this is the Gateway small shopping mall. More Japanese food. Ekkamai has a huge Japanese community. So you'll find some fast food in there, but a lot of good Japanese restaurants. And it's a smaller mall. I don't believe, in fact, I know there's not a movie theater. I won't even call it a mall. It's just a large shopping center, 4 or 5 stories. So once again, as you leave the Ekkamai BTS station, now this is an escalator coming up, but there's a set of stairs right there. You just go where that little white van popped out, and that's the Ekkamai bus station. I did a video or two on how to take the bus to Pattaya for like $1.50, and that's the spot. And on the other side of 42 is 63. Once again, the numbers don't really match up. So when it's Soi 40 over here, it's not 41 over there. It's about 20 off. So this Soi 63 in Ekkamai is a very popular street. A lot of condos and restaurants. There's a couple of big nightclubs down there. I'm not a huge nightclub guy, but this Ekkamai and Tonglor, BTS next door, they're kind of the big Thai nightclub spots. Looks like another large condo project's going up here on the corner of 63 and Sukhumvit. But today we're gonna go the other side, wander up Soi 42, which it's not that long a street. Looks about 3 or 4 blocks, and then I think you hit, I think it's Ramapur. That's the bus, the Bangkok to Pattaya. So it's an older kind of Greyhound style bus, but $1.30, $1.50. Not a bad way to get to Pattaya, which is, I don't know, what, 80 miles? I'm just guessing. I've been there a million times and I'm not sure. A little over 2 hours in traffic. You can hire a taxi. They'll be glad to take you. Just negotiate the best price you can. I think it's about 30 bucks. I don't know. I've never did that. There's a couple of car services that they're nice SUVs for actually a little bit cheaper that I'll use if I'm not up for taking the bus. The only problem with the bus is when you show up at the bus station, oftentimes, like today is Sunday, 6 p.m. So everybody's going home in one direction or the other. So you might show up at 4 in the afternoon and you can't get the next, say, 3 buses, and you have to wait 45 minutes. No big deal. It's worth it for $1.50. Right on Soi 42, directly across the street, is a large Bangkok Mediplex. Looks like a couple of dozen doctors and dental offices. And then it appears to be some condos up top. There goes one of the condo tuk-tuks. If you live even 3-4 blocks down, these larger condos at the end, oftentimes the nicer condos, actually most condos, will have a free tuk-tuk to run you up the street to the BTS. You can do it on a motorbike, but that's going to cost you probably 20 baht, 70 cents roughly. Or you can walk it, but it's not that fun to walk during Bangkok's rainy season. This Ekkamai area of Bangkok, just like sistering Soi Tonglor, not far away, I'll put it at the higher end of prices for condos and even expensive restaurants. It's a nice place to live. If you can find a good deal in an older condo, this is a beautiful area, Ekkamai. And again, that's just the way I think as a retired guy moving over to Bangkok and trying to live affordably. I spend a lot of money in going out and dining out most every night, but I like to keep my rental under control. Other people they won't give it a second thought to spend, you know, $1,500 US for a huge, beautiful apartment in one of the best parts of town. Myself, depending on the bot, I pay $400 a month, and that's fine with me. In a smaller condo in a 3-year-old building, not in Ekkamai, but I'm only 4 or 5 train stops away in the en-route area, so maybe 10 minutes on the train, no big deal. Heading up 42 is the Rhythm 42 Sukhumvit condos on the left. Super close to the BTS. That's it. So not even a block away. But you will pay a little extra for that closeness. There's Rhythm 42 behind the parking structure here. Things are definitely quieter on the Soi 42 side compared to the other side, Soi 63. These businesses, Sunday 6 p.m. are all locked up tight. So not as many food choices as you're gonna get on a lot of sois here in Bangkok. I mean, there's gonna be food choices, but there's just not thousands. I've walked that far from the BTS and there's really nothing other than the Gateway Mall. It's like a curtain store. And here's another nice condo. Let's see what the name is. Oh, that's actually the Wyndham Garden. So Wyndham property. I'm not sure if that's all hotel. A lot of these hotels over here also have long-term apartments or serviced apartments attached to the hotel. So maybe that's what this garden residence is. But if you're thinking about living in the Ekkamai area, this is also a very good choice, not far from the BTS. You'll have to look up those monthly prices. Eager Express here. My friend actually is a supervisor for Eager Express. They're kind of the UPS of Thailand. This guy's out making his deliveries at 6:30 p.m. on a Sunday. I need to look into Amazon. Certain things I think you can get sent over here, but it gets a little confusing on paying the customs. I know if you order like a laptop, there's no way you're just gonna have that thing sent to you without having to pay customs to have it sent to Thailand. But there's also Lazada, which is similar to Amazon. Here's another complex. I think that might be more an office building. Now, right across the street from the Wyndham here on 42 is the Grand Residence Serviced Apartments. And I'm getting to be more and more a fan of these serviced apartments. They're one owner. You know, it's an apartment building as opposed to individual condo owners. And oftentimes they're a little older. I don't know, this building might be 20 years old. And sometimes you just get a little bit more bang for the buck, size-wise. Now, you're not gonna be living on the 30th floor. Oftentimes they're 8 or 10 stories. But if they have a swimming pool, maybe even a small gym, you can get a nice size apartment at a decent rate in a great area like Ekkamai, if you're willing to live in a little bit older building. And a lot of Thais, that's not their first choice, especially Thais with money. They want these prestigious, beautiful buildings. Not all of them, but a lot of them do. So they're very popular. And across the way, that's actually on the next soi over there, is some more examples of 8 and 10 story buildings as opposed to these big, fancier high rises. They're still beautiful buildings. They're just, I guess, not as prestigious as some of these fancier high rises. Now here's a little side soi to get you over to, I don't know if that's Soi 44. These are actually kind of unusual in Bangkok. It's kind of strange, like this Soi 42, it'll just go from Sukhumvit, whatever, 5-6 blocks to Rama 4, I think that's Rama 4, without being able to connect to the other soys. So this is kind of nice. You won't be able to find these. Oftentimes you have to go all the way up to Sukhumvit, go all the way down, and then up the next soy if that's where you're heading. So it's nice to be able to have these shortcuts because they're just not that popular. And again, Sunday, early evening, a lot of these small businesses are closed up, little coffee shops and all. And here on 42 is a little factory, the Thailand Knitting Factory. So this is some pretty valuable real estate to have an old school textile factory. Across the way, the 42 Tower. Looks like offices on the bottom and some condos on top. You're not that far from the BTS, but I don't like to go much further than that. I mean, not because I'm lazy, just because of the rain and the heat. It's just brutal to walk twice as far as from the BTS to here. Maybe you can go a little bit further, but those two buildings is kind of pushing it. You can take one of these old school buses for about 12 baht cheap. So if that bus just runs up and down this soy, that's another good option rather than sitting on the back of a motorbike in the rain. And this is kind of nice. They have a wash and dry. There are not a lot of these laundromats. There's 1-2 blocks from where I live, and the washers here in the condos, they're just that. They're a washer, and then you hang the clothes out to dry in the sun. So maybe I'm spoiled, but it's kind of nice to throw those clothes in the dryer and kind of fluff them up a little bit rather than some stiff shirt you're pulling off the clothesline. And right past the Tower 42, just some more local businesses on the bottom with 3 old school Thai apartments above. Oftentimes the owner of the businesses, they rent the whole deal. Like this barber, he has his barber shop, and then he just rents the whole deal. So he might live in the apartment above and rent out the other 2. If you're really on a budget, I mean, you can find some affordable deals on these Thai style, no frills type apartments, even in the best parts of town. That's just kind of how Bangkok is. You'll have a high rise with $2,500 a month rent right next to these really old no frills buildings for $300 or $150 a month. I don't know what they cost, but they're cheap. Here's a little local bakery, probably making some delicious breads you can grab on your way to work. And here's another side soy. A lot of offshoots off this Soi 42. Not super common. Looks like all kinds of cool little local businesses up here. These are definitely local apartments. And here's the first signs of any street food here on 42. But again, you're only 2 blocks. I've only walked 2 blocks from the BTS. So you're not that far from some street food. Here's some chicken. And here comes a fancy city bus. I think, well, I know these are more expensive than the red buses. These are air conditioned. They're still pretty affordable. I think they're less than 20 baht. Looks like some nice local Thai restaurants. I see 40 and 45 baht on the menu. Different soups. Less than $1.50. Lady was just washing her sidewalk. And this is the local post office. It's like a nice little restaurant over here. Barbershop. Or actually, beauty salon, I guess. That's a barbershop. So we're almost towards the end of 42, coming up on Rama 4. And there's not a whole bunch down here, just those condos I showed you. And this is more a local area. This looks, I'm guessing that's a Chinese restaurant. And this is Rama 4. So, I don't want to get hit by a car. You can see how far you are to the BTS. So you really need a reason to live over here in these condos. You really need a car, is what you need. Or you're staying with your Thai girlfriend and that's the area she wants to live. But if you were to just have your pick of any condo and you were to pick this building, you're a long ways from that BTS. And there, to the best of my knowledge, the MRT subway, it doesn't go over here. It's more like 5-6 blocks that way. So you need to pick your spots on your condo. Doing it from the US or the UK, that's not the way to go. You need to get boots on the ground over here and just figure out exactly where it is, how close it is to a train or subway, and just make your life a lot easier. I know a lot of people will say, hey, suck it up. You're 4 blocks or whatever that is, 5 blocks to the train. But that's a long 5 blocks when it's 105 degrees. Here's the motorbike guy. Everybody has a motorbike over here, so there's plenty of guys to just whip in, change that oil, change that tire in no time. And this is Rama 4, another huge street like Sukhumvit that is a thoroughfare. And there's the Lambretta fancy motorbike dealer. All kinds of delicious food on Rama 4. In fact, I need to find, there's a famous pad Thai lady who's somewhere here on Rama 4. Here's some Sunday 6:30 p.m. traffic. Everybody just heading out to do their shopping and all now that things cool down. These are nice condos, don't get me wrong, and they're not far from the Chao Phraya River. Just, in fact, that building at the end of 2 sois away, I think, is one of the port buildings where the cargo ships pull up. So from these, you're going to have a beautiful view of the river and all. You're just kind of a long ways from the train if walking is what you're going to do. So that's Soi 42 in the Ekkamai area. Not quite as fancy as Soi 63 Ekkamai, but it's still pretty nice. I hate to be super like cliche or touristy with the whole, hey, you got to stay close to a train and on, but it's kind of true. I mean, just make your life easy. Come out here, stay as close to the train or subway as you can, and then figure out where you're going to live, if you're going to have a motorbike or have a car. But again, picking something online because it looks like it's $150 cheaper, you're going to spend $100 on transportation to get to these buildings, and it's just not going to be as convenient.